Alright, we're checking out another folding electric scooter in this video. This is the Inmotion Climber, and as the name implies, it can go up steep inclines. They're advertising up to a 36-degree incline with no problem. This one, because it has a dual motor setup here. You have a up to 750 watts peak power in both the front and the rear motors. I believe it's 450 watts nominal, so 1500 watts peak. And this scooter does not have any suspension in the front or the rear, so I would recommend this one strictly to streets or sidewalks. It does come with 10-inch tires, puncture resistant tires with inner tubes, and it does have a sort of a split hub system, so you can just take the two sides of the hub off to change the inner tube, and this does come with two replaceable inner tubes. And I just inflated these to the recommended pressure. I think it's about 40 psi, which is fine for sidewalks and streets. Let's look at the other side. Again, front and rear hub motors. You have a rear disc brake here in the back. It's a mechanical disc brake. So you have a combination of the mechanical disc brake and also electronic brakes, obviously because there's motors in the front and the rear. When you activate the handbrake, the electronic brake also activates, as well as the disc brake. So you have multiple means of slowing down the scooter if need be. So obviously in the deck here you have a 533 watt-hour battery, and they're giving you an advertised range up to 35 miles. And with these, with the two motor setup here, they're saying it goes up to 25 kilometers per hour, or 0 to 25 kilometers per hour in like 3.5 seconds, with a maximum speed of 30.5 kilometers per hour. So the scooter does fold down here, has a safety latch, and then there is a hook right over here that pops out, and you can fold that in, and you put that up when you want to fold it down, and it latches into the rear fender right here. Fairly standard setup here for a scooter. The handlebars here don't fold down, just the stem. You have a throttle here, and out of the box it is not activated. So basically, if you're on a standstill, if you press the throttle, it won't go. You have to go into the app, I'll explain that here in a second, to change that setting to allow for the throttle press to push the scooter. Otherwise, what you have to do is actually kick the scooter, move it forward while you're pressing the throttle, and then the motor will engage. But out of the box, it's not set to default. Also, the cruise control is not set to default either. You gotta set that in the app as well. And what that does is if you maintain a certain throttle position and a certain speed, after, I don't know, 3-4 seconds, you hear a beep, which means the cruise control is set, and then you can let go of the throttle and maintain that speed. But again, that is not set to turned on by default. You have to turn that on in the app. Here is the other side. Over here, you got your bell. Not too loud. Handbrake here. Pretty standard grips. They're all right. Power button here to turn it on, and you have your display. It's not super visible. I'll turn it on here. Pretty bright out right now. Not sure if that's even that well seen, and that flashing is not, it's a flashing seen in the camera, is actually not seen by the human eye. Basically, you have 3 modes, like a pedestrian mode, normal mode, and like a sport mode, and it defaults to the middle position. You have 3 different speed levels. You have a mile per hour gauge here, and then you have your battery level here. You can connect this obviously with your phone, with the smartphone app, and that's where you can change the other settings. And you also have to activate the scooter with the smartphone app, just like the previous Inmotion electric scooter that I reviewed before. A little bit of a bummer. I believe not all the modes are activated if you don't activate the scooter. Once you do that, you have to just use your email, or you can use a email address to register the scooter, and then once that, all the functions are activated. Just a few last notes. The scooter weighs about 45 pounds, or about 21 kilograms. The charge port is over here on the right side bottom with a little cover. It is splash proof. I believe this is rated like IPX6 water resistant. So you can't go over puddles and stuff, but obviously you don't want to submerge the scooter and get water inside the battery compartment. That would be pretty bad. I'll probably ruin the scooter. Anyway, enough talking about this. Let's take her for a ride and go up some hills and see how fast this is. Although, honestly, I'm not particularly fond of fast scooters. I don't like to go fast, but we'll give it a go and see how quick this thing is. Alright, so we've got this sort of steep incline here. This road goes up. It's not that steep. It's like maybe 15 degrees, but it's a long stretch. I want to see how this does in terms of speed and maintaining that speed over that long stretch. And I'm in sport mode. Whoa, it's got massive acceleration even going uphill. Okay. This is the fastest acceleration scooter I've ever ridden on before. I can't even maintain full throttle. It's really going. So these kind of inclines, this is like 15 degrees is no problem. Wow. All right, it's got a lot of power. Wow, this is crazy. So as advertised, this motor does go fast. And it's got a lot of acceleration. Let's just try this little stretch here. It's a little bit downhill. Let's see, I don't know, it's probably 200 meters away, that sidewalk there on the left, that gate. Let's see how quickly this accelerates. Whoa, it really goes. And then the braking is pretty good. Don't feel like you're gonna flip over because it is a rear disc brake, but it does stop pretty abruptly. So if you yank on the handbrake too quickly, you might get thrown off because this thing's got a lot of power. So be careful. You can actually hear the whir of the motor too when it goes full throttle. It's pretty impressive. Okay, let's try this hill here. This one's whoa, it's peeling out. It was roughly 20 degrees. No problem. In fact, I can accelerate up this hill. It's got so much power. If you recall my last Inmotion scooter review, I went this hill and it was not that fast compared to this scooter. This was much faster. So this hill over here is a lot tougher, but let's see what happens. I'm going to go down here. This one is closer. This is probably closer to that 36 degrees, but I'm not sure if the tires are. This is like going off-road here. Not recommended for this scooter. No suspension. It's very rough. Oh man, it's pretty rough. Not sure if the tires are going to be able to hold on, grip onto this dirt and these rocks. This is very sketchy going down here. It's all rocks. Okay, good enough. Let's go to the bottom and see if it can even come up at all. I'll try over here on the right side, or on the left side going up. So if you recall the last, I think it was the S9, the Inmotion scooter, this was a very steep incline. This is probably more than 36 degrees, probably about 40 degrees, and it wouldn't make it up. So let's give it a little bit of a start here at the bottom, and then I'll kind of gradually build up that speed. All right, let's go. Okay, it's going. The wheels are spinning out. Oh, okay. I can't maintain the scooter on these rocks. It just the wheels spin out, and it pops me off. But it feels like it has more power. But this is obviously not a good. This is not good to ride on for this scooter. And I don't have any other hills that are like this that are paved. But I can definitely tell this is more powerful than the last Inmotion scooter for sure. All right, got another hill here, roughly about 15 degrees or so. Smooth bike path. A lot of road, car, street noise here, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me. This isn't too bumpy, but we'll see. And I'm in sport mode. No problem. It just goes. "21 miles an hour. And the cruise control kicked in there. So yeah, this scooter is way too fast for me, for my comfort level. And I don't like that it doesn't have suspension. You feel all the bumps, even with the inflatable tires. But it's not, I mean, it's not the worst in the world. I've ridden on some much cheaper scooters with no suspension, and definitely much worse in terms of rideability. This one's not the worst, but definitely could be better for that price point. But I think they put all the money in into the motors and the battery, because this thing's got huge amounts of acceleration compared to any other folding electric scooter I've ridden. Quite impressive. I'll have to definitely check out some more of these dual motor electric scooters. Although not necessarily for the speed, but just the acceleration is really impressive. Actually, quite a bit more than I need, and I'm sure, you know, for those of you speed demons out there, you guys are probably going to love it. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. Check out the link in the video description if you want to check it out. Talk to you guys in the next one.